Picture this, a medium-sized town somewhere, somewhere in your favorite location, with, of course, a vampire prince in the darkness. And the prince rules the city. They know they rule the city. Why? Well, suppose a body is drained of blood, a bit too much blood. They just need to snap their fingers and it disappears from the morgue. The investigation is quashed. Suppose a picture, an embarrassing or revealing picture appears in the press or towards a journalist. Another snap of the fingers and the picture is buried, the reporter is fired, or whatever they want. So the vampire prince really rules the city. Occasionally, they need to do a few things to keep their puppets in place, but that's about it. Now think of this from the mayor's perspective. From their perspective, they win election after election. How come? Because they have these dark servants in the night who go and strike down their rivals, bring revelations about them, plant stories, do dirty tricks, have them cause car accidents. So they rule this city, and their rule is maintained by these dark servants. And in exchange, occasionally they have to dispose of a body or squash a news story. But I mean, that's the kind of minor thing that, in the grand scheme of things, in exchange, they get to make this city go in the direction that they want, serve the people the way they want, their great vision. So basically, they have achieved huge power at a completely minute price, thanks to these always useful dark servants. So whose perspective is right? And how could a mayor have more influence or have the upper hand in any dealing with the prince? Well, if you think about it, vampires, especially older vampires, are creatures of small groups. They deal with 10, maybe 20 other people, other kindred in their cities. And the others are humans, they're servants, or they're snacks. But their political skills are very astute for very small groups, kind of like the sort of human evolutionary past. Whereas the mayor is a creature of bureaucracy, of hierarchy, of civilization, of extremely complicated and large-scale groups. And so, though the prince will have hundreds of years of refining personal relationships in the small groups, the mayor will be so much better at them at running a large-scale bureaucracy. And it's not surprised that in this exchange, the mayor would be the ones with the superior political skills. They know how to run a city. The prince has absolutely no idea. So when the mayor asks for a service here, or a minor thing here, or this thing removed because it would just help smooth things over and keep them in power, the prince doesn't know that they're doing the bidding of this being and completely transforming the political landscape in their favor. And you might say, okay, well, princes dominate often and other supernatural powers, but again, bureaucracy can counter that. After a few encounters, if the mayor starts realizing, well, they might not realize it's supernatural, but they think, oh, I ended up doing something that was against my interest. I don't know how they convinced me, but they convinced me. Then they can always set up bureaucracies. Maybe there needs a committee to vote on all of the mayor's decisions. Maybe there is an actual group of civil servants and a system in place. And then when the prince dominates and say, you shall do this, the mayor can say, I would do, my lord, but unfortunately, we need to get the approval of others on the city council. Now, I know you could probably trick them, but just be a lot easier if you just arrange to pass this bill that we're all in favor of, and as a quid pro quo, I'm sure you can get any small service that you want. And basically that way, by setting up the bureaucracy and the whole infrastructure of the city as on their side, on the side of their views, a mayor can quite easily outmanipulate a prince while always letting the prince believe that they're in charge. Because that's another thing that humans are much better at than kindred. Obedience, obsequience, flattery to those who think they are their superiors. Anyway, that's my idea. Thanks for listening.